Hey, psst. You want to know a little secret to helping your audio with your Swan transceiver? Stand by. Okay, so getting ready for the Swan Net here. I just wanted to tell you something that I kind of show you something that I've been doing here. People kind of always rip on Swans for audio, but they actually don't have too bad of audio because there's 2.7 filters. Drakes are tighter. Anyways, what I'm doing here, and I showed you guys this the other week. I have just a small little Behringer 802. I have a 1202 with FX, but we don't need FX. We definitely don't need that. So anyways, just a little EQ, low, medium, and high. It's 12 kilohertz, 2.5, and 80. I mean, the 12, probably not even hearing, nowhere near getting in the bandwidth, but it does seem like it kind of brings up the highs a little bit more. So anyways, it works well. I have it coming on the main output with a dual jack, left and right channel, and then a stereo. I'll just leave it at that. We'll just call it a stereo for you guys so don't confuse everybody. It goes into the back of the Cute 175 or in the front of the SS16 500CX. Works great because what I'm doing here, these radios have a transmit switch that I can go into transmit with. If I were to use the 350 over here, it does not have that ability for switching, and I would have to wire something. I would have to wire this guy up and have a dual kind of switch, one for the audio, one for push to talk. So this guy's just on his own with whatever microphone I plug into it. But and the microphone is an ATR 30. I love these things. I have a couple of them, and they stand up next to anything that's $500. And you might say, I don't believe it. Send me your microphone. I'll prove it to you. Anyways, been using these for years. I think these damn things cost, at the time, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks. And they're fantastic mics. It's just dynamic microphone. So nothing, there's no secrets to microphones. Anyways, they work great, especially for ham radio. They sound nice, and we'll get ready to do the net. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, well, Skip's there, and I don't even hear him.
K6LGL, Paul. Why don't you see if he's got his tune-up taken care of? He was having a little trouble.
Might have to switch antennas here.
Paul, K6LGL.
Yeah, I'm here now. Everything's square away.
Oh, you sound good, Paul.
Sounds distorted.
Thank you.
Got to ride the volume on this sucker. I guess I'm going to need the amp. Go ahead, Ron.
Oh, okay. K6LGL, K6VWS, and the Swan Group. Yeah, I just listened to the interesting conversations going on here. Thought I'd wait until you got here, Skip, and throw my hat in the ring. So I'll send it back to you. K6LGL, K6VWS. Okay, thank you very much.
I'm just going to leave the VFO. Otherwise, we'll be chasing everybody. Man, I can't even hear him. East Coast is slamming in.
WB6LWL. Yeah, very good, Skip. K6LGL, WB6MWL. Kind of windy and cool today. I was out in the backyard for a while there pulling some weeds, and boy, it got too chilly for me. I had to come in. But anyway, I hope we get some more rain, Skip. Over. The effort here. This is November 6th Alpha Foxtrot, Chuck in Emerald Hills up above Redwood City, where my closest thing to a swan is my Atlas 210X, but it's kind of taken apart over on the repair bench, and but I'm making an effort, and it does indicate its origin is Oceanside, California, on the back of that 210X, and I'm just troubleshooting one matter in the transmitter, and we'll get it optimized here shortly, but not tonight. So in lieu of that, I fired up the K3, and I have it set up with the so-called ESSB for about 3.8 kilohertz effective transmit bandwidth, but you're not even going to notice that.
Nope.
Unless you were able to widen up your receiver filter.
Not on a Swan.
So anyway, I was just going to mention, I just looked on QRZ.com at the solar and geomag conditions. This harkens back to the early 70s when I was first licensed. 209 sunspots is posted right now, and a geomagnetic level of K equals 0. I mean, it doesn't go any lower. It's like the ultimate in propagation and with minimal geomagnetic noise. So I'll pass it on so everybody can enjoy this. It's pretty amazing. N9AMI. This is N6AF.
Okay, N6AF and 9AMI, very good. And yeah, Kevin, I did let off on the gas pedal there last time, but the band is very long, and I'm not hearing Skip too great, so it could go at any moment, because those guys are like super strong here, kind of coming over the top of some of you. But anyways, John in Silver Springs, Nevada, and I'm on the Cute 175 tonight. Everybody loves it. And hopefully the Swan Junkie shows up tonight, because I did talk to him earlier. He said he'd probably be here, but you know how it goes with the Swan Junkie. You never know. Okay, Paul, coming over to you. K2LMQ. Always a good signal out here, and 9AMI.
Oh, great. Hello. That's 9AMI in the gang. K2LMQ. Good evening, all. Good to hear everybody.
Kind of distorted.
Are fairly decent, but the East Coast or South undercurrent is there also, but still 100% common. And why not?
Uh-oh.
Everybody. Good crew here tonight.
It's kind of going away.
And I have a question for you guys, and it's a nasty subject, and I don't want to dominate the conversation with it, but a fun thing of today, because it is very, very
He's got a
and
problem.
so, by the way, I'm on the Swan 240 with the Sandy L1, running about 500 watts of peak audio.
Maybe it's the band.
No.
I don't think so.
The situation came up today whether the speculating in front of the balloon is shot down from that have an EMP device in it. So it got me to thinking about back in the day when we went through last time. And so I'm wondering what to do here. And my thoughts are I could take a couple of the receivers maybe and take them off the AC and antenna disconnect and connect the antenna, not the antenna, but the antenna output of the transceiver or the receiver directly to ground. But that's the ground is the case, but independent of everything else, not touching anything else. Then I'm wondering if something like that happened.
Nope, needed a Faraday cage.
The other thought I had was I have a dead microwave in microwave in the garage, and I thought I could just take something like the IC706 and do that, put it in the microwave for additional security.
Man, he is distorted. Paul, you're distorted.
Just been playing around in here, not a lot of damage for this. So I'm talking over the rod, and I went your bike ride today, and what's going on with you? 86 DWS, K2LMQ.
K6LK.
There he is, the Swan Junkie.
Yeah, okay, Skip, thanks.
Yeah, I think it goes over to Kevin, doesn't it, Skip?
Yes. Man, I barely hear you, Skip.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting topic you brought up there, Paul. EMP, electromagnetic pulse. Yeah, there's all kinds of theories of what could happen from cars dying that are electronic versus, your Apple Watch dying, and any devices that could basically just open up like a fuse, especially devices like analog to digital devices in the front end of a software-defined radio, things like that. So I would suspect that the EMP event would have to be large enough to be able to do that. And yeah, anything's possible. Anything's possible. That's always been my number one concern for emergency services because nobody's prepared for EMP. Nobody, except for the ham operators that have boat anchors. Most of our boat anchors will survive an EMP attack. Maybe not all of the receivers in the boat anchor family, but some of them will without problems. Yeah, very interesting. I wouldn't be too terribly concerned because if that happens, if you're the only one that has a car that works, it means that you have an old muscle car that has points and condenser as opposed to electronic ignition. And I'm just going to leave it there. You kind of get the idea. The thing about balloons carrying an EMP device, that's old news. That's been around and talked about at Moore College and other places that I've been involved with for a long time. And it's just like anything else. I would say this: you're probably more susceptible to harm just getting in your car and driving down to the local supermarket to get milk, bread, and eggs. So that's my assessment. Not to make light of it, but yeah, when something like that happens, it's a six-pack of beer and maybe some kimchi with barbecued ribs.
Kimchi.
And you'll be good to go. All right, let's get it over to Ron there.
I don't want any kimchi with my ribs.
Kv6VWS.
I just take the ribs.
And the growing group, Swan Group, WA6JKN.
I don't want kimchi, period.
Okay, Kevin, WA6JKN, Kv6VWS. Ron here at Joshua Tree, and I'm running this Swan 350C barefoot. And I don't know what the peak is because don't have a peak reading watt meter at that, but as long as everybody's hearing me. And yeah, that's interesting about the lone geomagnetic disturbances and the sunspots. Yeah, that's a perfect combination for good propagation and low noise. And yeah, well, yeah, we should all put our stuff in a Faraday shield. I could make a Faraday shield out of this basement, I guess. It wouldn't be too hard. And yeah, it's a worrying thought that the EMP attacks.
I'm not worried.
That'd be the easiest thing to really put some hurt on the country if it actually happens. I mean, you knock out the electrical grid and everything else. So, like you say, all electronic systems and vehicles. And yeah, that would be beyond disaster. So, with all the evil people that are running some of these countries, it makes you wonder. But anyway, that's a nice group. And hello, Skip and John and Kevin and Paul and Chuck and Jay are coming in great, and Bill. So good group. So I'll keep it moving here. Let's see. I think I sent it to Jay. WB6MWL, Kv6VWS. Okay, Ron. KD6VWS, WB6MWL. Yeah, everybody's over S9 here, well over.
Super strong.
Or close. Bill, you're close to S9. So everybody's doing pretty good here. We're on the 500C, driving the Mark II. On the low power position here, about 800 watts.
John? I don't know if you probably got it with that, hooked up with that Henry there, maybe. And yeah, that EMP, that's a good reason to keep a boat anchor. Is that the truth? All of this newfangled stuff would probably be dead in its tracks. That's an interesting proposition. Anyway, I'll turn it over to Bill. I think he was the last one in here. So how's everything up there?
The Swan Junkie.
K6LK, WB6MWL.
Okay, thanks, Jay. WB6MWL, K6LK returning. Yeah, I'm going to keep it short here because the bride just gave me the dinner call. She's getting in late. I heard the garage doors were open, but wanted to say hello to everybody. And Paul, down there in Kingman, I believe you're located. Hey, you gotta fully load that 240 and then throttle. It's gonna have to be throttled back with a some kind of I don't know what I'm trying to think of here. Some kind of an attenuator, because it's got to be fully loaded. You only need about 40 watts to drive an amplifier, but you probably already know all that stuff. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to tell you that, Paul, is because you got distortion and you're breaking up. So I don't know what might be going on there, but again, the 240, having owned about 3 of them, it has to be fully loaded, and then you can attenuate it back with some kind of a system there. Okay, so I don't know who it goes to, but down there to you, Skip, and count me out, but the Swan Junkie did have to make a show. Tonight I'm on the Atlas 210X LE.
Oh.
So hopefully it's not jumping around.
Sounds good, Bill. Sounds good.
K6LGL, K6LK.
Okay, thank you, Bill. K6LK. And the three of those K6 green lights getting Monica by the bay. Yeah, the old discussion regarding the EMP, they've been going around for at least 40 years with that in my brain. And aerospace engineering.
It's the best I can do on Skip, sorry. Sounds a little distorted. Not right on frequency, but nice.
Did you copy W7 Lima Tango Golf there, Skip?
Cold? It was 50 degrees. You live 30 miles from me.
I don't know why. Uses a Shure 444 microphone.
It's 60 miles.
And, no amplifier. That's a lot of power for Swan here. It's 8950 in here. I gotta check in just a little bit here. I'm gonna watch a movie here on the TV. Got 75-inch TV, so I want to check that out. It's nice 4K. And don't get on ready to get too much. You can't get on Mondays or Wednesdays. It's kind of hard for me. I don't know why. But it's hard to get on AM sometimes. I tried today. Couldn't get anybody on 1793. All right, guys.
This is sideband, not AM.
Back to you, Skip. W7.
Okay.
Can you send it back to you, Skip?
This thing was built in a garage in Arizona. Maybe on his back porch.
Transmissions were 150 to 170 hertz So anyway, I'm on 3895 plus or minus maybe 2 hertz with the since my Atlas 210X tribute to Herb Johnson is sitting on the repair bench. I'll have it next week back together. So
QSB.
I would be a little careful about getting too upset about the EMP stuff. I already thought about dispersal, chemical weapons and all that. And I'm sure they're thinking of all that. But as far as the EMP, I'm sticking with my KWM2, and maybe I'll build or buy a steam engine powered vehicle. How's that? And we'll all steam power our way around the irradiated neighborhood for as long as we live.
I'll ride my bicycle.
After the bigger bombs come in, following the pulse. And last time I checked, the only electronics on my road racing carbon fiber super bicycle is a little computer gadget up there on the handlebar, and I don't need that. So yeah, I think I'm pretty good there. I think people commented, I think I'm more likely to get killed on the bicycle. Like a year ago, I got whacked by a car that turned illegally left in front of me, and it fractured my left hip. And if you want to sound like a doctor, you could say my left acetabulum and several ribs. Got those for free in the order there, and but it healed up in about 8 weeks. It was a non-displaced, very long fracture, and back in the saddle. And I did about 40 yesterday, and I'll do more than that tomorrow if it's not raining. So much for the EMP. Let's see, and then John, AMI, unbelievable, common interest. I was just looking through all your photos on your QRZ page, and I can relate to many of those pictures. And I don't know if that was an Aussie Shepherd or a Border Collie, but I see the devotion and the intelligence in that dog's eyes. Gorgeous. And the cats, I just had to put my wonderful short-haired tabby Max to sleep recently. He got the incurable jaw cancer after 16 years. But a lot of your pictures there remind me of when I would go and visit my buddy Jeff, another fellow ham up in Reno, and he and I would go out into the desert there on the BLM land and try out his different machine guns, papered, machine guns, and you tear around on motorcycles, and one gigantic playground, highly enjoyable. So just really cool. Let's see, a lot more stories to talk about, like Florida and everything, but I'll just move on here to you. Great pictures. I've had 5 motorcycles as well. N9 AMI from N6AF.
Okay, N6AF, N9 AMI. Good old, good old. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, I'll leave it down a little bit there. The gain, modulation. Yeah, very good, very good. I don't know where to go with that, with the comments on the photos and stuff, but very cool. Yeah, I do get around in the desert quite a bit, and do my fair share of treasure hunting and gold mining and things like that. And I don't know how many motorcycles I've owned, over 20, mostly road bikes, some dirt bikes, but mostly stuff you drive on the street. Mostly I would consider death machines, but that's what I like, so that's how I roll. But anyways, good stuff, man, good stuff. As far as that EMP junk goes, I wouldn't lose a second of sleep over it. I'm not worried about it. If the one goes off and it takes out every radio I have, well, hey, oh well. It's not going to take out my my gun collection, that's for sure, and that's probably more important to me than when something like that goes down. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents. And as far as these guys talking about this second balloon they shot down, you know, I'm just saying, I just think I wouldn't believe a damn thing they're telling you after all the malarkey that went on the last couple weeks with that other one back east. Who knows? I don't want to be a conspiracy theory guy, but they might have launched the damn thing and shut it down themselves the way this government works here. So who knows? I don't believe a thing. And you got more of a chance of getting killed or getting damaged working on a Swan transceiver, even with the Swan Junkies help, than an EMP going off. So there you go. There's my 2 cents. Keep it light, man. Keep it light. Have a good time. That's how it is for this group, I think, for the most part. But anyways, good signals for everybody. There is QSB. Back east guys are coming in and out, but you know, everybody's managing just fine. And Paul, yeah, you do have a bunch of distortion on that 240, and I think it's just maybe the 240, but I don't know. It's hard to say, buddy. Who knows? Maybe I have a distortion right now. K2LMQ, over to you, bud. N9AMI.
Yeah, fine, John. Hello. Okay. N9AMI. K2LMQ. Okay, fine. It could be. I don't know. I brought you.
It's rough. It's rough, Paul. It's hard to understand, dude. He's gone. Hopefully you'll listen back, Paul, and hear what you sound like on here. Maybe you can figure out the problem. It's rough.
Plenty of food in the house, and hello. Yes, well protected, the question. Right now, we're going around a million times,
Okay, Paul, I hate to report, but that was really rough copy. I was only getting syllables of your message there, and that combined, well, that's because of poor hearing and so on and so forth. But just like the Swan Junkie mentioned, there's something in the loading process there that's causing an awful lot of distortion. So I have no idea what your comments were, but I could tell that you were sending it over to me because I knew that it was I was next in the lineup. So anyway, very good. the stuff that I remember in years past was the United States conducted a series of balloon tests way back back in the 50s. I think it was the middle to late 50s, and I can't really speak to any specifics, but I would be surprised that I know there was at least 100 tests or close to 100 tests performed.
I'm going to switch to the vertical. Let's see what happens.
And so it was all part of Operation Hard Track or Hard Cat or something like that, Hard Track. But I remember Yucca was the specific
Definitely
area,
brought up the signal a bit tonight,
where the tests were
at least on
conducted.
Kevin.
And I remember that it was a low yield EMP pulse.
For
Very
now.
low yield, nothing like a big nuclear bomb going off. It was very low yield, and it produced some really disruptive events, very disruptive events. So, like John and everybody else has mentioned, I don't know if I'd be too terribly concerned. It just depends on the yield. And I think Skip mentioned that as well. So, but rest assured that it's probably intellectual property that the Chinese stole from the program I just mentioned, and they probably took it and perfected it. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, the Chinese have been stealing intellectual property as long as I can remember. That was the number one thing working for the government is all this stuff, intellectual property being stolen by the Russians, Germany, Israel, our allies, and our adversaries were all engaged in stealing intellectual property. Everybody. And of course the U.S. was most likely engaged in it also. So it's tit for tat. Alright, so if you see a balloon, go ask John to use his high-powered scope and just shoot it out of the sky. Yeah, that's what I would do. I wouldn't worry about it. It's better to... radios will survive. Big old boat anchors, like I said, they will survive, no problem. Your old muscle cars that don't have electronic ignition, they'll survive. Your new truck, John, will quit working. So make sure you have plenty of food if they do test it over in Nevada, because I think that's where all the tests were performed for, was in Nevada, up in your neck of the woods. Yeah, I wonder if you ever used a, what do you call it, a radon detector, or not a radon detector, a beta tester, like a Geiger counter, to see if there's anything radioactive up there. I bet you'll still find some. Stuff that might still be radioactive, because they conducted a whole bunch of tests up there. And so that's probably why certain areas don't grow things so well, and other areas grow things really well. All right, let's
see. It's the desert, nothing sagebrush.
The mercury tonight. That's the one thing I wanted to mention. No mercury tonight. My KW Sugar 1 should be up and running probably by Wednesday. The parts came in, and I got to go pick them up either Monday, Tuesday, or so. And I'll get those parts installed, and I'll get that rig back on the air. The Mercury Lux, I packaged it up and sent it back to the manufacturer. It should be there on Wednesday. They're going to fix a little tone. There's some multiple tones that showed up in the low level of my audio, and they think it's the DC switching regulator. So they're going to replace that, and they're also going to update the firmware, because there's some new firmware for more capabilities and all that kind of stuff. I can't imagine what more capabilities that thing is going to be able to provide, but I think it's going to have to do
It'll wash your dishes.
Some of the nuances, like times flash across the screen and stuff like that. I know it needed to be improved, but I'll take whatever.
Your amplifier won't work in an EMP.
I don't have anything else to report on other than good to hear everybody in there. Good signals tonight. So over to you, Ron.
I'm sure it's nice.
For you as well, Jay, Skip, everybody. KD6VWS, WA6JCAN. I guess I'm good for one more. It's going to be a simple number.
WA6JCAN, yeah, this is, you had to send the mercury back already. Man, yeah, hope it comes back good. You started to distort so bad I couldn't understand either. Like the longer
You're hearing the East Coast mix in with Ron. They're about as strong as he is.
the first sentence or so is pretty clear, and then it gradually gets worse.
Maybe stronger.
So I was curious if you could just kick off the amp and try it through and see if it does the same thing.
It's a good idea.
If it continues to do that. And Francesca, okay, on the 700, putting out 500 watts. Yeah, them 8950s, boy, they must really be, cooking in there. But I was copying about 5 over S9, so down here at Joshua Tree, and
It's on fire.
yeah, John. Yeah, that cute 175 has nice audio. I think it has nicer audio than your SS16, but
Well, not anymore.
so it sounds good. And yeah, I took my ride this afternoon. Went to Yucca Valley doing some shopping. It was cool and windy, both 50s. Got home before the sun went down, so I didn't get any colder, so that's a good thing. And let's see, Jay, you're coming in great. Yeah, everybody's coming in pretty strong. So let's see, let me send it over to you, Jay. WB6MWL, KD6VWS. Okay, Ron, very good. KD6VWS, WB6MWL. Yeah, you're well over S9 here on the 500C too. Wasn't really paying attention, but I know you're over S9. Francesca's coming in here pretty good too. I think she was about S8, something like that. Pretty good copy. So, yeah, that's a lot of power for that 700CX. But they generally will put out the most on 75. As you go up, the power kind of drops. And that's what a Swan range is now. Even the cute ones. Of course, the cute one's got an advantage. It only has this band.
That's
So,
right.
It's going to put out mass all the time here, probably. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, it does sound good. It's got those single band radios have real good audio. They always have. And when the 240s are right, they have very good audio too. The single tube 240. Anyway, yeah, I think more than worrying about the EMP, we need to be concerned with people taking rifles and shooting at power stations.
Yeah.
Like happened in North Carolina, and I think it happened up in Washington State too. Thank goodness it crossed the parties, I think, that were trying to pull this stuff. But that's probably a bigger risk than the EMP situation. Just my thought on that. I thought I'd throw that out there. Anyway, let's see if Francesca hears me there. I think Bill signed out, so I'll go to her, and then you can turn it back to Skip. W7LTG, WB6MWL.
Not there. Signed out. One and done. I don't hear her. I do not hear them. Oh, I'm on the vertical. Too close. What? Watch this. That's the difference between the vertical and the wire. And he's off frequency. Vertical? Nothing. A whisper. Wire? Loop? OCF? Vertical. So I'll leave it on the vertical. Franny will be done in a minute anyway. So, you know, you guys like this, these nets that I do, that I record. Like, share, subscribe. Pass it around, man. Send it to your buddies. You miss the net, a lot of times you can do it. I will not have a set schedule for recording these things. It is what it is when it is, so just saying. Okay, coming back.
I think it's back to you, Skip.
Which radio do you think sounds better?
Not hearing Skip too good now. East Coast guys. Beating them up good. As you guys can see, people say that swans drift. I haven't been riding the VFO. We've been running for like an hour. East Coast, just beating up Skip. So, you get a swan, you go through it, caps, that kind of thing, restore it. It won't drift much. Yep, Skip's about done, I think.
I like to build
Sorry, guys. Should probably just end the net now. 73 round right now, anyway. He's just fading out. I'm running about 1100 watts with the amp. Rough night, rough night. Seems like we have a lot of those rough nights. Wow, that guy's strong.
All right. November 6th Alpha Fox. All interesting comments.
See, I didn't even have to tune.
About,
He's right on.
speaking of reactions to high energy events, I was going to talk about it late one night when one of the filter caps in one of my SB220 amps let loose. And but that's okay. It was like the staccato rip of a full auto HK308. John knows what I'm talking about. Just and a certain pair of boxer shorts was nearly compromised, but eventually I peeled myself off the shack ceiling and came back down to the floor level and started troubleshooting.
Going to high power for the 73 round.
I missed what went wrong with your amp, Kevin, so when it gets to you after Paul, I'm just curious, did you at least confirm that one of the days that the MOSFETs blew out? I'm sure that's what failed. I mean, I'm 90% sure anyway. That seems to be the weak point. And I don't know, some of the premature failure, I mean, they must have like input. Of course you wouldn't overload it, but there must be input level sensing, since the gate on those LD MOSFETs is the Achilles heel. So I'm just curious to know what was the failure, or at system level what happened. Just total loss of output with no forewarning behavior. Just curious. And thanks, Skip, for running the show, and my first time. And next week I will have the Atlas 210X here to share Herb Johnson's excellent designs. I love the partitioning of that design and the modular board of functional partitioning, I guess I would say, and the access to it. I've got the little extender board, for those boards in the 210X, and it's actually fun to troubleshoot and work on that thing. So we'll get it running. All right, good night from Redwood City. N9AMI, this is N6AF.
Okay, N6AF, N9AMI, very good. Okay guys, well 73s to everybody. 73, boy, that's one thing that there's no S after 73. Anyways, yeah, Kevin, well sorry about the amp there. I'm sure they'll get that baby fixed up for you and you'll be good to go, but EMP will take that sucker out, so good thing you probably got what do you got, that 922 there? And it'll probably take out the 922 also, but you got some good tube gear there, so there you go. No worries. And okay, yeah, Ron, yeah, this one, the audio chain now is changed up. I'm running a 3-band EQ into this thing, and the same exact setup with the 500CX SS16 that I'll run next week. So we'll see what you think about that. I've got the carrier set points exactly the same on both of them now, so we'll see what you say. It'll be interesting. All right, over to you, Paul. And Paul, listen back to the video when it's up there tomorrow. You'll hear what you sound like, and that'll maybe give you an idea and help you out a little bit, buddy. K2LMQ and 9AMI 73.
Fine, John. 9 AMI in the gang. Hello. K2LMQ.
It's the radio.
You guys passed me up there, WA6JKN.
What happened?
Roger.
Yeah, keep going. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to pick it up, Paul? This is WA6JKN.
Nope, it's the radio.
Okay, I think you said yes, so I'll go ahead and
No,
make a
he's
transaction
talking.
and turn it over to you. Your audio sounded a little bit better. At least I could hear what you're saying there, but just like Ron said, maybe a thing of time, a little bit longer.
Kevin.
Especially if it starts to degrade. So let me drop the earpiece through and doubling. Oh, come on.
You were.
Okay, looks like I'm good to go. Okay, first off, I wanted to mention, thank you for all the concerns about the mercury amp and all that kind of stuff, and the well wishes and this, that, and the other to get well card and the flowers and all that. I appreciate it, I really do. But here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with the amplifier. The amplifier LD mosses are solid. It's a beast. Matter of fact, I was talking to a station in, where was he? My last QSO using the amp was with, a guy in Wales. Yeah, I was talking to him in Wales. I got a 20 over S9 report. So no, the amplifier is fine. The LD mosses, everything about the functionality of the amplifier is working. The reason for sending it back, I've been helping the engineers solve a minor problem dealing with an artifact that happens to be about the 4th harmonic of 60 hertz that's not being filtered properly in the DC switching regulator. I did all the detailed analysis, put together all of the charts, the spectrum analysis charts and everything else, and I've been feeding that back over to the company for the past, let's see, I've been working on this now for, well, almost 3 months. I detected it early on and was trying to help isolate the problem, figure out what it was, and trying different input power levels from 120 volts up to 240 and see what the behavior was. And so the 4th harmonic, it looks like the high pass filter may have a bad capacitor or something, because I could see the harmonic of the so it would be the 8th harmonic. Let's see, it would be the the 4th harmonic, so it would be 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Well, that means there's something wrong with the amplifier.
Yeah, so the 4th harmonic, I could see the doubling of that frequency, and what's interesting, it had the same amplitude. So what it equates to is that when you're on AM, that 4th harmonic is an audible tone of about 302 hertz. Okay, its 2nd harmonic, which would be around 600 hertz, it also shows up as an artifact, so it's kind of like a two-tone affair, and it's almost at the frequency of dial tone, but not really. So that shows up at about 5% modulation when you're running 1500 watts. 100% modulation on 1500 watts, it shows up about 5% of the modulation is made up of that artifact. And so anyway, it's no big deal. It's just that certain band conditions will emphasize that artifact, and like John will tell you, he heard it I think for the first time, and John may not be aware that it's been there all along. And what it has to do with is people's hearing. He might have had his ears may have been in tip-top shape by the day he heard it, and other days not so good, because some people can hear it, other people can't, and so that's just the way it is. So it's not. So it's something that I requested the company to consider investigating, because I don't think it's representative of how an amplifier should behave, especially for AM. So they replicated the problem. As soon as they replicated the problem, I sent them my test procedure, everything like that, the equipment I used. They were able to replicate it, and they discovered exactly what was causing it. And as soon as that was part of the condition, was that they needed to be able to verify it independently and come up with a repair, and call me up and tell me when it's ready to ship the amplifier to them. And here's the thing, not like most other companies, they're paying for shipping both ways. And of course, the repair is going to be free and everything else about it. I can't say enough about this company. They're top-notch in every way possible, and working with the customer to make their product even better than it is. It's top of the line. All right, enough of that. But the amplifier did not blow up its LD Mosses. It's a rugged design, and I'll talk more about it with you, Chuck, if you want to know why this amplifier is better than all the others, because I know all the answers on that. I've done all the research. Okay, over to you, Ron, KD6BWS, and the group 73. Good night, everybody. WA6JKN.
Yeah, I know it. Give me that Black Friday sale. I think HR. No, I got this one. This one came from R&L. They had a special on them, so that's when I ended up with this one right after Black Friday.
Generally use channel capacitors. I would assume they did, but anyway, that's what I'd be looking for.
I really don't know what the difference is between the two.
I can still hear the distortion when you were barefoot.
To be honest with
So, yeah, the best thing to do is listen to John's
They had a both display down at R&L side by side.
radio on YouTube.
They looked just about alike. I mean,
And you can hear it for yourself. You need to hear it.
Hey, thanks for the commercial, Ron.
710 shirt buttons on the top.
What you're dealing with.
And I like the 710 for some reason.
East Coast is just hammering us tonight.
This one didn't come with an extra.
You're about as strong as I've ever seen you. 40 over.
$69.
You're really
For the daggone
blasted in from the Inland Empire, and everybody's doing good. Francesca, you got a little bit kind of stepped on that last transmission because of the back east stations got real loud, but if it wouldn't have been for that, you'd have been beautiful copies. So hopefully maybe they'll kind of fade out a little bit and I'll be able to hear you better. So other than that, everybody else is sounding great, good conditions, so nice net, interesting with all the EMP discussions and everything. But the way I look at it, if it goes to the point where they're doing that EMP thing, we're talking World War III, because and then you know what that means. We might as well all crawl into our bunker and take a snooze. So hopefully I'll be taking the long nap before that happens.
You got that right, Ron.
With that, Let me send it over to you, Jay. WB6MWL, KD6VWS 73.
Okay, Ron, KD6VWS, WB6MWL, very good. Yeah, signals are holding up, but the East Coast people are just
You're going to turn up the monitor up to yours essentially
as
more
the evening goes on here. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting, Kevin, on what you found there on the amp. Yeah, that sounds like a good company. Most companies won't pay shipping both ways, that's for sure. So, I'm going to say 73, and good to hear everybody. We'll look for everybody next week, if not sooner. So, I'll turn it up to Francesca and see if you're still copying there. W7LTG, 73 everybody, WB6MWL.
But don't
Yeah, got a good copy on most of you guys, but that's right, guys.
HDMI cable converter.
And,
Calls it a kill radio.
about Kevin, and get back to you. I know a guy on, we talked about one guy on CW1.
DVI to DVI.
And, I go, what did you...
So the monitor I get will have to be a DVI.
And Steve White.
So here's the
Okay.
Well, did you have a monitor
or an older monitor, you can find DVI. But
So anyway,
monitors are
guys,
hard to come by. They haven't.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to end this tonight because, well, East Coast is just hammering it. So we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Wavelength Radio.